Hello, my name is Zoe Bramhall. Welcome to my presentation on the research project Motivation for Physical Activity in Adolescent Smokers and Non-Smokers. This was developed for the subject Applied Exercise in Sports Psychology. So just an overview of the presentation today. It will consist of an introduction, methods and procedures, results, discussion, conclusion and practical implications. A number of theories exist to explain why people engage in physical activity. Most suggest that health is the main contributing factor, resulting in the overall theory that those engaging in unhealthy behaviours would not be motivated to partake in exercise or physical activity. However, this theory is limited to the amount of research which has been done on motivational factors in those engaging in unhealthy behaviours such as smoking. Smoking is still prevalent in society today, despite the large number of government-funded anti-smoking advertisements on television and in the media, and the increase in healthy lifestyle promotion in schools. Cigarette smoking amongst adolescents is still common and an issue of concern. While statistically numbers have not increased, it is the age of smokers which is of worry in terms of negative health effects and struggle in regards to physical activity. This presents a large problem in terms of the development of unhealthy behaviours for the future. Evidence reinforcing the prevalence of smoking in young adults today was apparent in a 2008 survey of Australian secondary school students, conducted by the New South Wales Department of Health. Cigarette smoking is believed to constitute a significant and substantial problem affecting the general health status of society. It constitutes a large number of harmful effects on the pulmonary system. At an age which is of key importance for major development, smoking in adolescence can have a significant effect on health in the future, especially if physical activity decreases as a result. Leon, 1987, concurred that cigarette smoking was associated with poor physical fitness and muscle strength among athletes. Smoking is believed to be detrimental to athletic performance because it leads to premature fatigue or muscular failure, which may in turn affect athletic performance. Further studies by Bock, Marcus, Rossi and Redding have showed that smokers and physically inactive subjects could not deliver an appropriate pulmonary performance. Understanding underlying motivation or lack of in smokers for exercise participation will allow clinicians and health educators to more effectively highlight the importance of consistent physical activity for individuals of all ages, especially adolescents at such a preliminary stage of their lives. For the purpose of this study, the null hypothesis will be assumed. Smoking does not affect motivation for engaging in physical activity in young adults. The project was approved by the Institutional Review Board prior to implementation. All ethics and guidelines were adhered to within the study design, including participants fulfilling a consent form prior to completing the questions featured in the questionnaire. All participants were ensured that no specific identifiable information would be included with the collected data. A valid and reliable questionnaire was then selected which would best reflect the topic, gaining the most reliable and accurate results to address the hypothesis. This was identified as the Treatment Self-Regulation Questionnaire, or TSRQ. The questionnaire was posted on an online forum where it was accessible to students attending Central Queensland University. 30 students enrolled in Applied Exercise in Sports Psychology and aged from 18 to 26 individually completed a questionnaire answering all 15 questions presented for each category. Questions were completed by responding in the form of a number scale response. Options were 1 being not true at all, 4 being somewhat true, and 7 being very true. Scoring was completed through calculation of the average of an individual's participant's response to the total number of items in each questionnaire. Data collected from the surveys was analysed in Microsoft Excel using an independent t-test. The test identified the significance of each dataset, smokers' results and non-smokers' results, and compared these scores against each other. This analysis tested the null hypothesis, identifying if any significance was present. The significance was less than 0.05. The results from the testing were collaborated and analysed using an independent t-test. The outcome was assessed for significance on 2 different levels to ensure the result was accurate. Table 1 displays that the motivation for physical activity was lower for the participants who identified as smokers in comparison to the participants who did not smoke. The difference was also shown to be insignificant. After analysing the results gained and identifying the lack of significance, it is obvious that the null hypothesis was proven incorrect, and the alternative hypothesis was supported by the data. There is no difference in motivation levels for physical activity in the smokers and non-smokers. The sample size chosen, however, was relatively small, with only 30 participants. This suggests that whilst the alternative hypothesis was proven correct in this particular research project, the same may not have been the case with a larger sample of individuals. Another concern was that the individuals classified as smokers were selected based on whether they smoked cigarettes at all. This meant that all smokers were included, regardless of the number of cigarettes smoked and the regularity of the cigarettes smoked. A number of responses were given for the question, "How often do you smoke?" This may also have had a significant effect on the outcome of the study. By grading the smokers and only testing those who reported smoking a significantly large amount of cigarettes each day, the end result could possibly have been altered. Also, participants were not asked the question, "How long have you been smoking for?" This could have played a large part in defining who classified as a smoker and who did not. The results gathered from this study are contrary to a number of studies identifying a relationship between the practices of multiple health behaviours. Scioli, Biller, Rossi and Reeb performed a cross-sectional study where they found that individuals who reported participating in regular physical activity were more likely than their sedentary counterparts to avoid cigarette smoking and excessive alcohol consumption. Because physical activity appears to share an association with other health behaviours, it has been hypothesized that the process of adopting a more physically active lifestyle may act as a gateway behaviour, producing positive changes in other health behaviours. However, the current research conducted suggests that the adolescent smokers tested were still participating in physical activity, with motivation levels remaining the same as their non-smoking counterparts. Two prior studies have examined the relationship between readiness to adopt physical activity and readiness to change other risk behaviours. In the study by Daniel Cropley and FIFA Shaw, smokers were identified as being less likely to be in more advanced stages of readiness to adopt vigorous exercise and readiness to avoid dietary fat than were non-smokers. The study also showed that smoking was negatively associated with readiness for participation in vigorous exercise. This research conflicts with the research gathered during the current project, although this could also relate to the inclusion of adolescents specifically. The motivation of adolescents for physical activity may not waver dependent on unhealthy lifestyle choices. This could be as a result of a positive outlook on life at such an early stage of life, which may change as individuals grow older. This research project has shown that the results found may be helpful to institutes and governing bodies trying to target a population of smokers to start exercising. It has shown that their motivation to engage in physical activity does not differ from those people who are non-smokers. It has also opened up the opportunity for people wishing to perform other research projects in the field that there are contradictory results. A new type of survey may be needed to help establish a true outcome. Whilst this study has shown that there is no significant difference in motivation levels to engage in physical activity between smokers and non-smokers, there may be a trend. This is evident by the mean averages scores for the TRSQ, showing a slightly lower score in smokers when compared to non-smokers. Thank you for listening.